Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Well, Michael Pence has dropped out. Whoopee-wee. Donald Trump says you ought to endorse him. Why? He's part of the administration, right? My guess is Pence won't endorse anybody. Oh, maybe Haley or whatever. It doesn't matter. They all act like this is a big, they're all in single digits. And Trump's at 60. And they act like it's a horse race. And I'm telling you, folks, the voters are not all going to coalesce with one person against Trump. It ain't going to make any damn difference. All right, Thomas Massie, you ready for this? Is one of only 10 congressmen, congresswomen who voted against the pro-Israel resolution. He's the only Republican senator or House rep who voted against it. He voted with the 9 crazy ladies, AOC and company. Thomas Massie. He's a clown serving our 4th Congressional District. Trump, he was in Sioux City. He actually messed up and said Sioux Falls. That's understandable. But they love him, and he's way up in Iowa. Hamas calls for all Palestinians to kill Jews. What I've been saying to you. Hamas, Palestine, one and the same. Calling on them all to kill Jews. More on debt than defense. We are now paying more on debt than defense. The jackwagons who've ran this country, the Fed, Congress, the presidents, have ran our country off a damn cliff. Newsom, he goes to China to visit. I don't know what the hell he's doing there. He tackled some kid playing basketball. Nice look, Newsom. Fidelity, they value X, aka Twitter, down 65%. It's just now. You watch, Musk will get her rolling again. Trump claimed in Iowa he has $100 million in legal fees. What does that tell you? That tells you how freaking evil lawyers are. How evil the legal system is. 100 freaking million. I sent a message to the Trump folks that they ought to develop a collection of lawyers around the country to work for free instead of getting raped by these lawyers. Can you imagine $100 million? They're not even going to trial. They're all in the preliminary stages. What these big law firms do is they assign 20 lawyers to it and they all just start bill. It's a joke. And there hasn't even been a motion to dismiss one of the charges yet. Hate lawyers. Ben Carson's endorsed Donald Trump. Not a shocker there. Vivek says, hey, I'm not for taking back Gaza and destroying Hamas. See you, Vivek. Muslim mob in a Russian airport went looking for Jewish refugees. What did you do, Biden, for these companies? When is somebody going to get Hunter and Joe and his family members and say, what did you do for all these companies? 150,000 illegals came across last month in Arizona. And guess what? We found out 100 Syrians and 50 Iranians came over the border. UAW has settled with Ford and now Stellantis. I didn't really know who Stellantis was. I'm being honest. That's the company that's bought Chrysler, Dodge, et cetera, et cetera. All right, Treasury debt is getting bad. Those Treasury note paying the highest interest ever. Here comes the collapse of our economy. Trump said those who do deals, the co-defendants, are wimps and cowards. Let me tell you something. Joe Deters told me this as Hamilton County prosecutor. He said he was always amazed that what always made these the bad guys go down is they were all weak. They were all weak. They wouldn't stick together. But folks, these people don't have any quote unquote turn on Trump. They don't have anything on Trump. Trump's not a criminal. There's nothing to turn on. Israel is moving into the second phase of the Gaza invasion. They are destroying Gaza. Hurt says, nah, baby, nah, on ordering 100,000 Teslas. Bill Maher interviewed Cuomo, and Cuomo says there was all fake news against him. I don't know. Home Depot, you can buy a $3,834 home from Home Depot. Isn't that something? Iran keeps making threats to the United States. Well, why not? Joe Biden's in charge of our country. Toyota, 750,000 recalls. Ouch. Nokia, 14,000 layoff. Ouch. Ford loses 36,000 per each EV vehicle. Ouch. BP has bought $100 million worth of superchargers. That's a good sign for Tesla. Shell, they're saying hell with green, they're back to oil. Diamond is selling 140 million of stock in JP Morgan. I wonder why. Trump spoke to a Jewish group in Iowa and they loved him. Farm bill, 60 members of the House have said, pass the farm bill. We'll see if that's the first bill passed under Mike Johnson. Well, they passed a budget bill. Mercedes, GM, and Ford are saying EV, they're out of here. Asa Hutchinson's lost his campaign manager, looking for a new one. Musk allegedly attended a fundraiser with Vivek. Trump said, you shed 1 ounce of our blood, 1 drop of our blood, you'll shed gallons. Oh, I thought he was friends with the tyrants. Israel killed one of the leaders of the Hamas orchestration of that terrible, and by the way, some of the stories that are coming out is just awful. Young girl they just announced was found dead, beheaded. The Ford inventory is down due to the strike. Imagine that. Bill Maher is speaking out about regulations. How you like that? Trump's way up in Pennsylvania. Robert Card committed suicide. That ordeal is over except for all the misery and sadness for the families that he killed. Trump is going to testify November 6th. Ivanka might be soon behind him. And that's the New York trial. James Carville says Democrats are telling me to shut up about how weak Joe Biden is. Many National Guardsmen have not been paid. Isn't that special? Mortgages are now over 8%. Buffett is backing a Chinese EV company. Meta lost $50 billion in the metaverse. That's higher value than Ford, Hershey, and some other companies. GDP grew by 4.9%. Pretty good. The problem is, I saw an expert talk about this. They are leaving out what's really going on in small business and medium business across this country who are getting stifled. This is being driven by the big boys. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to Eric Deters Local News. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Well, it's a College Hill shooting again. It never ends, does it? Never ends. Alto Miles. I got to ask a question. He was in court to plead. He had an outburst. How can this guy have any mental capacity to plead? Watching this video was disturbing to me. I'm like, why are they even trying to get this guy to plead? He obviously has got no mental capacity to plead anything. Kendall Radford slit his own throat after a chase. He stabbed somebody in Louisville, and then he had a chase all the way to Ohio County where he slitted his own throat. Other ways to do it, man. $1 million bond for Janissa Green in the death of her 4-month-old. Sad, sad, sad. In local news, Fifth Third and 14 others want to be the investment advisor at the railroad sale. We ought to submit a bid. We would like to be the investment advisor. Longworth Hall is going to sell for $25 million for the state. Need it for part of that bridge. Fort Thomas Art Studio had a ribbon cutting this week. Congratulations to the art gang at Fort Thomas. There was a march for honoring Shuttlesworth down to City Hall over the weekend. Shuttlesworth was a civil rights pioneer. $2 million Kenton County's given to the drawbridge site for the development of it. More corporate welfare. It always happens, buddy. Northern Kentucky teacher, apparently, from the Diocese of Covington, apparently said the N-word to a student, leading to a lawsuit. In Kentucky, Miss Black Kentucky was crowned this week, and I forget her name, but I only bring this up because can you imagine if there was a Miss White Kentucky? Yeah, that's right. Thomas Massey is the only Republican who voted against the Israeli resolution. He voted with AOC and company. Uncle Daniel ad. Woo, boy. These Black Voters Matter group is calling him Uncle Daniel. Vicious. Ford delays the battery plant in Kentucky. Wonder why? Drug Take Back Day. A lot of cities participate in this. I'm thinking to myself, really? How silly is this? Drug Take Back Day? If I got drugs I haven't used, can I just throw them away? Can I keep them? Give them back to who? Makes no sense to me. University of Kentucky, $380 million health education buildings launched. Black Voters Matter is going around on a bus all around the state of Kentucky trying to turn out the black votes. Isn't this wild? The black vote will not be going to the black guy. Mike Johnson once was legal counsel for the ARC. That's interesting. John Tilley, the fallen Kentucky legislature, is going to go to trial July 24th. This was an allegation of rape down in Louisville. And a polar bear being moved from a North Carolina zoo to a Kentucky zoo's died. And they want to go to Kentucky, I guess. In Ohio, early voting is going on, and apparently it's strong. Apparently, according to the Supreme Court, or I think it was a Court of Appeals decision, maybe Supreme Court decision, Texas on a public official phone can be disclosed. 2 pounds of meth was seized in Ohio. That's a lot of freaking meth. Kid went 103 miles per hour. A juvenile. Not good. All right. Robert Croskery, a friend of mine, has begun a trial over in Judge Trigg's courtroom in Hamilton County today. And Judge Triggs obviously is no fan of this case because of all the politics involved. But it's against CDC. And Robert Croskery's client, Nino Loretta, was a chef. And he had a deal by CDC to open up a restaurant in Over the Rhine. His parents put up all the money. God bless his mother, who's passed away. It's been going on for 4 years. It went up to the First District Court of Appeals. They tossed a fraud claim. It's come back for trial, and it's begun trial. Nobody in the local media is covering this. Why? Because the power of CDC. But yours truly will cover it, and I hope Robert Croskery and Nino Loretta win their trial. It'll probably be 5 days. We'll let you know what happens. And then last but not least, Indiana. Somebody poisoned this guy's root beer float. That's outrageous. You should be able to drink a root beer float that was all good. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.
Hello, you're watching Eric Deters World News. I'm Jamie Spinley with today's headlines in 60 seconds. Thousands of people in Gaza have broken into aid depots to take supplies in what the United Nations called a worrying sign of civil order starting to break down. The UN Relief Agency from Palestine said warehouses holding basics like flour, rice and soap were ransacked. At least 32 people are being killed and dozens more injured in a crash involving multiple vehicles. The collision occurred over the weekend, 82 miles north of the capital city, Cairo. It is said many of those were burnt to death. At least 20 ambulances were sent to the crash site. In Germany, 5 construction site workers have died after they fell from scaffolding at one of Hamburg's biggest building sites in the Afron City regional area. The scaffolding was said to have collapsed and other workers reported missing. And at least 32 people have died and several are missing after a mine fire in Kazakhstan belonging to the world's largest steelmaker, Aklimetal, the Ministry for Emergency Situation reported over the weekend. Until tomorrow, have a fantastic day. Cheerio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Sports Without Boundaries, because we comment on everything the way you would comment. By the way, I think I'm going to begin a once-a-week high school Kentucky, Ohio sports show, because all those high school events that go on need to be covered, but we can't cover them in these national sports shows. The Bengals, 31, the 49ers, 17. Lots of great stuff here. Joe Burrow is 100%. Running the football, throwing the football, 18 completions in a row against the vaunted 49ers defense at the 49ers. They hadn't lost forever there at home. And the Bengals go in and beat them. Chase, 10 catches, 100 yards. Mixon, over 80 yards, 16 carries. The D stepping up, 3 interceptions. Unbelievable. McCafferty, 17 touchdowns in a row in the games. Next week, he could break the record. But the Bengals made a statement yesterday. They're now 4-3. In other games, the Broncos 24, the Chiefs 9. Mahomes had the flu, 5 freaking turnovers. First loss of the Broncos to the Chiefs of the Broncos since 2015. You know why it all happened? No Taylor Swift, because she's out on tour. And after the Broncos beat them, guess what? The Denver Stadium piped out "Shake It Off" of Taylor Swift music. Wow, that stung. You know, maybe Kelsey's a little distracted from all of this. Going to the Texas Rangers World Series games, yada, yada, yada. The Ravens 31, the Cards 24. Seahawks 24, the Browns 20. Josh Wentz and Nick Batista are sad. Eagles 38, Commanders 21. Guess what? The tush push got stopped, and Hurts fumbled it. Saints 38, Colts 27, Vikings 24, Packers 10. Cousins blew out his Achilles heel. He's done for the year. Cowboys 43, Rams 20. This was an unbelievable game. Dak played great. Stafford hurt his thumb. I mean, let me see. In a matter of like 5 minutes, the Cowboys had a punt return almost go for a score. They blocked a punt. They had a fumble or an interception. I mean, it was wild. Had a safety. Panthers 15, Texans 13. Bryce Young got his first victory. Chargers 30, Bears 13. What a lousy game that was. Jets 13, Giants 10. Historic game. Why? There were more punts than points. 24 punts, Josh Wentz, an NFL record. And then the Giants blew it. Blew it. Unbelievable. Titans 28, Falcons 26. University of Kentucky's Will Levis got the start. 4 touchdown passes. Desmond Ridder got pulled, the UC Bearcat alum. He was awful. Jags 20, Steelers 10. The Steelers players are saying the game's fixed. NFL players suck. Kenny Pickett got killed. No call. They're going to get fined. I don't blame them. All right, Dolphins 31, Patriots 17. Tua and Mac Jones, Tua wins. In Major League Baseball, there were 2 incredible games over the weekend. First one, Rangers win 5-4 by Corey Seager hitting a 2-run homer in the bottom of the freaking ninth. And then Garcia hit one in the extra innings. The next game, Saturday, blowout. Arizona Diamondbacks 9-1. They get at it again tonight at 7 o'clock. Some more interesting things about this. The Rangers pitching coach was caught yelling, "You dumb MF," to Tommy Pham for getting picked off. Tommy Pham was 4 for 4, former Red. He could have gone 5 for 5. He gave up his opportunity to bat and let a buddy bat. Nobody in the World Series has hit 5 for 5. Tommy Pham could have been it. And Ketel Marte, can't make this up, Arizona Diamondbacks, 18-game hitting streak in the playoffs. Longest in history. Great college football. Georgia killed Florida 43-20. Ohio State 24, Wisconsin 10. Kansas 38, Oklahoma 33. Penn State 33, Indiana 24. Texas, without Ewers and without Arch Manning, 35, Brigham Young 6. Oregon 35, Utah 6. That was supposed to be a close game. Notre Dame 58, Pitt 7. Louisville 23, Duke 0. We love to see Duke get crushed. USC 50, California 49. Does USC have any kind of defense? Tennessee 33, Kentucky 27, UCLA 28, Colorado 16. Deion says he wants a whole new damn offensive line. Oklahoma State 45, UC 13. UC Bearcats going the wrong direction. Tyson Fury held off Nagano. Split decision. UFC fighter, first fight. Look at him. Is he cut or what? Colorado State got penalized for throwing snowballs onto the field. Do you blame him? This is like, to even talk about this gives me the creeps. Adam Johnson accidentally, in a bizarre scenario, although you know what, Josh, I can't believe maybe it hasn't happened more. Yeah. The skates are on the ground, players go down, people get hit with a skate, but he got slashed with a skate in the neck and died in England. He's a former Penguin. Makes me nauseated just talking about it. FC Cincinnati won their first playoff game at home, 3-0 over the New York Red Bulls. A kook, West Virginia, collapsed on the court. Yikes. No word how he's doing. Manfred, Major League Baseball commissioner, says he wants to get starting pitching great again. Because, used to be starting pitcher and go 8 innings, 9 innings. They never do that. They're like the opening pitcher, not the starting pitcher. Clay Travis has a bet. You ready for the bet? He thinks one of the best high school men's team could beat any WNBA team, including the champs. You know what? I agree with him, and let me explain why. If you got one of those elite high school teams that have the McDonald's All-Americans on that could go straight to the pros, they would beat them. They would beat them. He's willing to bet $1 million. UK exhibition in Georgetown, 92-69. I tell you right now, this team is going to be great. NBA scores: Clippers 123, Spurs 83, Sixers 126, Trailblazers 98, Hawks 127, Bucks 110, Warriors 106, Rockets 95, and the Lakers fell to the Kings in overtime, 132-127. NHL: Sabres 4, Avalanche 0, Devils 4, Wild 3, Capitals 3, Sharks 1, Oilers 5, Flames 2. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. We'll be back tomorrow with more sports. Ladies and gentlemen, American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Eric Deters Pop Culture. We begin with Travis and Taylor. A lot to talk about. They apparently are talking wedding. They're apparently talking kids. And you can't make this up. Kelsey was in the Texas Rangers. He went to see the game. He went to a bar and was singing Love Story, and all the Swifties all loved it. She's out on tour, so she missed the game. And guess what? They lost. Not good news. Their love's going to be tested now. By the way, how many commercials is Travis Kelce in? And you know what? Because of him dating Taylor Swift, he's more popular, so he's going to get even more gigs. You can't watch television. We need to Google that and see how many commercials he's in. All right, Matthew Perry passed away, 54 years old. Apparently was found as a drowning victim in his hot tub. Now, what I'm about ready to say is going to fly completely in the face of everything else everybody's talking. It always cracks me about these things. Somebody like this dies because he had all these issues. Everybody starts saying, And my answer is, where are all the people that should be helping the guy out and doing something? He says Jennifer Aniston always checked on him. That makes me feel good. I can always tell Jennifer Aniston's a decent person. Always checked on him. But it always cracks me up. And the other thing that cracks me up is this guy was making so much money on royalties. I forgot what the figure is. It's amazing what they make on royalties. And his life's still messed up. What the hell? He could do anything. His life's been an alcoholic since 14. It just tells you how powerful of a disease it is. Now, we don't know if drugs and alcohol are involved in his death or not, but come on. Drown in a hot tub, something happened, but it might have just been a heart attack. Who knows? But it always makes me sick when it's, well, where are people? Folks, I can give you countless examples of stories where people were crying out for help and nobody helped them. Then they commit suicide and everybody goes, really? Really? All right, Miss Black Kentucky from Louisville. All right, now I got to just say this. I'm covering this for a reason. It was over the weekend. Last year, Miss Black Kentucky won Miss Black USA. I hate these things. Can you imagine if there was a Miss White Kentucky? Now people will say, well, that's not nice. Why isn't it? I mean, these things are just bad, in my opinion. Ace Frehley says, screw you, Paul Stanley. My next album's going to be good. We'll see. Pete Sampras, this is wild. Bridget Wilson, do you recognize her? Pete Sampras, the great. She was the school teacher in Billy Madison. Bridget Wilson, the actor. She has ovarian cancer. Now, once again, to give you context and perspective, Bridget Wilson, famous, married to Pete Sampras, ovarian cancer. Life hits everybody. All the best to you, Bridget. Richard Mall, the bailiff in Night Court, passed away. May he rest in peace. All right, Zolkiak and Berman have just got a judgment against them on a credit card for $250,000. Jeez, my credit card limit, I think, is $1,000. Saturday Night Live made fun of Joe Biden, and Christopher Walken said, call me Captain Pumpkin or something like that. He came out as like the Halloween ghost. Walken, I love his voice. Bruce Carr is a badass. I saw this story. I want to throw it in pop culture. This guy in World War II had his plane crash. Behind enemy lines, was captured. He stole a plane and flew out. And then Chuck Mawhinney, also another badass. This guy lived in obscurity for a while, fought in Vietnam, several tours, has more kills as any Marine sniper. And he lived in obscurity as a but as a park ranger until he was, people realized who he was. Nothing but salute to you guys. Elon Musk says they want to cause you to extinct. They melted down Robert E. Lee's statue. Meghan and Harry, apparently. There's too many people around them that are saying there's trouble for there not to be trouble. And I believe there's trouble. A Mormon mom says her son, this kid right here, is the second coming of Jesus. I don't believe it, Josh. Do you? Clay Travis has a bet of $1 million that a high school team could beat the WNBA superstars, and I believe it. Catherine Oxenberg married Ellis Jones. Now, take a picture of this. Digest this. She's going to say it's all for love. I wonder how rich that guy is. He is one lucky guy because Catherine Oxenberg has aged very well. She's a beautiful woman. Kate Middleton cried about George going to boarding school. She apparently didn't want to force him to go to boarding school, but it's English tradition. Can you imagine at that age getting thrown in boarding school away from your parents? Alicia Keys says if Trump was black, they would stop him. Really, Alicia? I used to like you. And apparently, sit in a hot tub for 30 minutes is as good as a 30-minute jog. Jog. Don't sit in a hot tub. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.